Have you ever asked yourself how some men are able to turn heads of any lady they cross paths with relative ease? It is not about looks, financial status, or social class. It's about how they express themselves. They have a unique, unexposed secret that high-end men usually have, and it's not what you think. Women fantasize about them because of what words they used even if they are not there. I'm going to go on to explain how exactly one can communicate to a woman in such a manner that when everything is said and done, she is able to keep thinking about you. Why should you pay keen attention to this? Because this may change dramatically your approach to women, most likely forever. Power doesn't always come with money. First impressions, and its importance, first impressions are the critical components of how high-value men create feelings of desire and curiosity. This is where many men make a mistake and how they should not. They go to the other extreme of attempting to dazzle a woman at the first introduction, whatever it takes. Looks, flashy stories, or excessive niceness. But high-value men understand that a woman should not feel the pressure during the very first stage of interaction. It is about making her remember certain things about you until she meets you again. The real essence is what these men do to women during that first conversation. Of course, people understand that women are much more sensitive in the feeling level than men are. They monitor things like eye contact, fold of your arms, the pitch of your voice, and the kind of light you give out. So, your body language, before you say a word, will decide if she ever thinks of you after the conversation. At first, and sometimes throughout reading this novel, the main characters engage in the unspoken language of confidence. One cannot fake confidence, which is based on self-image, on one's place in the universe. Any man of high value enters any platform occupying his mind with the knowledge that he is worth a lot. This is seen in how he holds himself, well, how he moves gracefully and how he speaks, calmly but not slow. When he speaks, he does not stutter. He does not speak extraneous words and acts as though he needs to fill the silence. Every word is intentional, such as the slow pace that the music has a sedative effect on her. She has to pay attention. Slowing down your talking pace and the firm tone will send a message to her subconsciousness that you are in charge. In fact, people who try to speak with confidence are not necessarily those who aim at raising their voice and getting forceful. Ladies like the kind of man who doesn't have to go out of his way to look like he knows it all or to have to announce anything to the women. Now, by silence, I don't mean that it's an empty space and it's useless. On the contrary, silence is one of your strongest weapons. High-value men don't mind silences between dialogue. Silence empowers her to think and allows her to assimilate what you are saying. It makes her feel that there is something missing that she will try to fill it. The conversation will continue as she feels that she needs to make you happy. Emotional control is hot. Female is naturally inclined to find security and feelings of protection from a man. The high-value men, again, seek to express emotion control as a way of portraying the esports reactions. If she puts down an ingenious quip or dare, do not make her react in anger. Every high-value man has learned how to play it off, or even better, they turn it around to be a joke on him. This shows that you're not easily provoked, which is such an attractive quality to have. They naturally look for the ability to cope with pressure, which emotional stability proves. Why does every discussion turn into a possibility to reveal the emotional intelligence of a high-value man? That is what a woman remembers. The mystery disappears, and you do not become every man who gets angry when she bothers them or wants to talk to her or defend her honor. It may surprise you to know that in these subtle gestures are some of the most powerful and vocal. Ifs. Great men aren't demanding for big actions to capture everyone's attention. They fully understand that sometimes gestures are more powerful than the messages people convey in words. As basic as the way you take her hand, the tone you use when responding to her, or how you light up when she speaks. Of course, Women are read body signals, very often more than men themselves do. From mannerisms, high-value men are warm, controlled people who move their eyes in a calculated way, nod to show that they are listening, and whose hands are not fidgety. These little things can mean a lot. The mystery factor. The art of intrigue. People should know that mystery is mindset they don't use in modern dating, especially with the improvement in the use of social media. Cooperating men of substance know that it is unconstructive to reveal everything at a glance, thus killing the fun. Women are territorial and like things they do not understand about men, and that is why retaining some sort of mystery does. Psychologically, when there is enigma or when certain knowledge is concealed or disclosed in part, brain demands that it be so resolved. The reason we get stuck on things that are not clear is that we want to comprehend them. High-quality men use this to their advantage in getting as much information as they can from a woman without revealing much information about themselves. For instance, if she asks about your job, a high-value man might respond by saying, "It is a little complicated, but let me say I love it." This short response only leaves her with more questions for replaying the conversation later in the attempt to understand him. She'll want more information, and this is what makes her remember him. Strategic ambiguity. Again, the lesson is be strategic about it and be intentionally ambiguous. Such high-value men are not answering questions in an aim to challenge women. They're just deflecting so that to continue a conversation. It is a case of saying and showing the audiences just enough while holding something back from them. If she asks about your hobbies, don't enumerate all your interests when you can just say that, "I've been preoccupied with something interesting." Whenever you get a chance, you'll hear all about it. This just makes her interested, anticipating the next discussion. I wanted to make it clear that when I speak of mystery, there is no game that the author is playing. Mystery is about adding layers. Successful men understand that they do not have to pull out a snapshot of their lives in order to pique a woman's interest. On the contrary, the less information is provided, the more her mind wanders, and it is possible that, at the end of the day, she will find you even more appealing than if you'd explain everything. Strategic silence, the power of pausing. One aspect of mystery is recognizing when it is time to hold one's tongue. Order was maintained in many women-man interactions through talk and silence, but when it was in the possession of high-value men, it was a weapon. Slowing down at some points gives her the chance to become curious, and the longer this continues, the more she's going to want to keep speaking. You and mystery keep her interested, and you may silence her, but your impression will make her yearn for more of you. As you may recall, one of the best tactics for constructing an emotional presence is the use of questions that touch her mind and feelings. High-value men do not waste time on such basic things like, "What is your favorite color?" or "Where do you work?" But they go further, the kind of questions being, "What do you love to do that people do not see?" or "What is the best thing you have done within a year?" Such kinds of questions are more profound than the routine ones that just shift the discussion to her and encourage her to think about her emotions. By asking those types of questions, you're not just getting her to analyze her experiences, because you are gradually establishing rapport with her too. She will realize that you are serious about her, and the intent behind it is to understand her even better, something which is perceived as quite scarce in today's culture of dating. Such aspect creates an emotional dependency which makes her feel the need of having you around whenever you are nowhere to be seen. I wanted to make it clear that when I speak of mystery, there is no game that the author is playing. Mystery is about adding layers. Successful men understand that they do not have to pull out a snapshot of their lives in order to pique a woman's interest. On the contrary, the less information is provided, the more her mind wanders, and it is possible that, at the end of the day, she will find you even more appealing than if you'd explain everything. Strategic silence, the power of pausing. One aspect of mystery is recognizing when it is time to hold one's tongue. Order was maintained in many women-man interactions through talk and silence, but when it was in the possession of high-value men, it was a weapon. Slowing down at some points gives her the chance to become curious, and the longer this continues, the more she is going to want to keep speaking. You and mystery keep her interested, and you may silence her, but your impression will make her yearn for more of you. As you may recall, one of the best tactics for constructing an emotional presence is the use of questions that touch her mind and feelings. High-value men do not waste time on such basic things like, "What is your favorite color?" or "Where do you work?" But they go further, the kind of questions being, "What do you love to do that people do not see?" or "What is the best thing you have done within a year?" Such kinds of questions are more profound than the routine ones that just shift the discussion to her and encourage her to think about her emotions. By asking those types of questions, you're not just getting her to analyze her experiences, because you are gradually establishing rapport with her too. She will realize that you are serious about her, and the intent behind it is to understand her even better, something which is perceived as quite scarce in today's culture of dating. Such aspect creates an emotional dependency which makes her feel the need of having you around whenever you are nowhere to be seen. Why? Overcommunication decreases sexual attraction. Especially in today's work environment, where instant communication is possible, it can be easy to stay in the role of continuous messaging. However, high-value male knows that overcommunication can be a sure way of reducing attraction. If you are always around to talk with her, always sending text messages, or replying to her instantly, she experiences no absence of you at all. The fact is there's no element of mystery. There's no build-up of suspense or emotion. High-value men do not overdo themselves by always being around their women, hence making them the best men to date. They might compose a message and then reply after a few hours, or they might spend a day and then compose a message. It's not about being unfriendly altogether with the opposite sex. Far from it. It's simply about the fact that attraction blossoms, as do almost all organic things, with time between interactions. And when you can't always react immediately, she has time to think and dwell on the things she knows, and she can wonder where you are, who you are with, why you are not answering her immediately. This uncertainty compels her desire to meet you again, and it is a thing that has to be harnessed and controlled. The freedom to satisfy her, but then disappear, is the best kind of freedom a man could buy. Whenever they are through with a conversation or interaction of some sort, high-value men always give her the feeling that there is more to come. They never do time killing, like especially in cases when the conversation is about to end. Instead of doing that, they just fade away at the right moment and make her feel good about herself. That is why she is looking forward to the next conversation, because she did not receive all that she wanted right there and then. For instance, instead of going silent after a captivating conversation and waiting for the conversation to die out gracefully, you could say, "It was nice talking to you, but I do need to leave now," but followed it with, "I would really like to talk to you more sometime." This not only makes for a positive closing to a given interaction, but also makes way for the next time the two will meet. She will be eagerly waiting for your next meeting. Otherwise, I can tell she misses you. Re-engaging, mastering the art of timing. Engagement needs to occur again. Once she has had an opportunity to realize that she misses you, high-value men are selective about how they return to her life. It maintains that one has to hit the middle of the time when contacting him. Her will smother the attraction, but kills it. High-value men will come back when she has missed them and hasn't looked for someone else in the meantime. For this, you need timing and manner for inflicting the pain. High-value men, on the other hand, understand when to put their things down and come back to be at the receiving end of her communication. Here, they're not texting someone they know just like that. They text with a purpose. They can replay one of the moments from the previous conversation and remind themselves of the spark they had. Such kind of continuing communication is much more meaningful than just calling with something else to say or simply to talk.